Alright then, we are back with Forbidden Lands on Gehenna Gaming. And Chris will be with us shortly. Hello everyone, how are you this night?
We are well.
Good. Until the critical injuries tables we have to roll on.
Very much in the mood to play Frida.
Exactly.
Critical injuries are other people.
Indeed. Let's hope. We are on session 9 tonight. How about quick introductions?
My name is Josh. I'm currently playing Brainer, the half-elf sorcerer, and like to go ahead and stir the pot from time to time and hopefully not lick the spoon.
Mm-hmm. Stir the pot. That's one word for it. Or several. Yeah.
I can attest he's very good at not licking the spoon. My name's Jessica, and I will be playing Frida the Bloody tonight. And thus far, she has earned that title.
She has. And she's adding another title, Demon Slayer.
I'm Michaela. I'm playing Big. She's a halfling bard.
Indeed. And she's a healer too, we have noticed.
Trying.
Trying.
Did you start to take the opportunity to learn while we're here?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But
that's good, yeah.
I'm Mike, otherwise known as B, and I'm playing the half-elf through the Celestial Passage, the much better spellcaster, and more likely to be known as the handsome one as well.
Shots fired.
And there's apparently, as audiences might have discovered, some tension between Brennar and Celestial Passage.
I know not what you speak of. Civilized beings speak not of the things like this.
Indeed. Chris will join us shortly. The human hunter. Again, a shout out to Hellhag Productions, who designed the overlays, and aside from the main Forbidden Lands map, she has done a lot of the maps as well for us, which is awesome. And again, this show is rated R. Forbidden Lands is a cursed land, a cruel world. One will find kindness and cruelty within any kin and any culture. And if this was a movie, it would be rated R and probably directed by Quentin Tarantino or some such. Life is cheap. This is fantasy meets Western very much. So, audience, beware of that and prepare. So, session 9 indeed. Last session, you traveled from the plains after having gotten away from Fort Riverstone, which was a bit of a mess, and you entered the Dankwood. You evaded a forest fire. You left the balloon traveling dwarf behind, evaded a forest fire, and met some elves who guided you to Thamorin, the castle in the middle of the Dankwood, which is an elvish castle, and you are now there as their guests. You've enjoyed a nice feast in the evening. I'm not so sure I should say made some friends, but at least made some new contacts and connections and acquaintances, potentially mentors, and some, potentially friends, partners. I don't know. We'll see what happens. How things turn out with the relationships and the connections you've made. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Not too bad. I'll just be probably like 3 or 4 more minutes, and I will be all set to go.
Excellent.
I feel like I'm the Sam Riegel of the game. I'm constantly late.
If we had a sponsor, you could do the whole sponsoring message at the start. That's his shtick. Maybe he didn't do that so much in season 1, but in season 2 he does it all the time.
Well, if we ever get a sponsor, I will gladly do it.
He has all these shenanigans for when he starts up in the season 2, and they're being sponsored by D&D Beyond, and he does it all the time. It's quite hilarious.
It's okay, Chris, because if it's not you, it's usually me trying to deal with my tiny humans.
Yes.
So
Raven's Purge and the Forbidden Lands brought to you by drinks, because everyone needs to drink. Please have a good drink.
Exactly. At any rate, let's jump into it. We'll get to Soren in a moment, but for now, you are waking up in the morning of Springrise 16th in Thamorin. This beautiful but potentially eerie place. I noticed that both Frida and Brennar had their trepidations and reservations given the artwork and possible use of magic, which might be, again, Forbidden Lands looks can be deceiving. Who knows? Brennar might be right about being suspicious about this place.
given what Frida and Brenner have just been through, I think it's only right we be suspicious of things.
Oh, it was that or get drunk off your arse.
Some of us did both.
Exactly. Might have a slight hangover this morning.
Yes.
It was very good wine, though, for sure. As you wake up this morning, you will hear the singing of birds, the refreshing sound of running water in the streams nearby. They're channeled through the garden. There's low melodic voices talking to each other quietly, somewhere a bit away from you. It's in fact, you can see some rays of sun coming through the clouds for the first time in many days. The heavy rain has stopped. Now it's more of a slight drizzle. Lots of dewdrops on the foliage around you outside your sleeping quarters that glisten like a myriad of little crystals on these leaves. The table that was set yesterday for you for the feast is set now for breakfast for those who want.
Ooh, lovely.
Wolf can never turn down a free meal.
Time for a good breaking of the fast following
Exactly.
morning meditation.
Yeah, so that's that. There's delicious bread. There's other fruits to be had.
That's not Soren.
That's not sorry. That's correct.
We
Hi
might
there.
be seeing the Anita doing tech support. Is Anita doing tech support or just visiting?
You're muted.
I have to click on the Zoom thing to unmute.
There we go.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Special guest.
Hey. Yeah, I'm just keeping the seat warm.
That's fine.
No,
I'm listening
that's
in.
physically impossible for you.
Oh, that's true. I could,
Soren took
however,
polyjuice potion or something.
I could, however, hear the voices from like across the kitchen. I was like, good God, how loud does he have his volume? Really is the answer to that question.
Well, when you get older, your hearing starts to go, I hear.
It's not that
Not just
old.
older.
Anita is not one of the shadow actors, I might add.
No. And even if I were, I would tell you I'm not.
Exactly.
It would be highly amusing if you were, though.
Well, unlike other games with shadow actors, we've seen some of them.
Though that
Yeah.
does remind me, I didn't say right away. I can say now. I have an epilogue for you for the audience tonight. So, someone has been up to shenanigans somewhere in the Forbidden Lands. Haha.
And it wasn't us.
And it wasn't you. All right. So onwards then. What's your first action this morning? You are having breakfast, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, Frida's gonna eat, and then she's gonna check out their kitchens again, a little bit more sober.
That's fine.
I'm going to go learn after I eat.
Mm-hmm.
Rainer's going to see if Bellarimi is either there or in earshot.
She's not at the moment, in fact.
Probably go for breakfast at that point.
Very good.
She didn't stay till the morning.
Walk of shame.
Yeah, Brainer going to breakfast is the walk of shame.
Raynar is old and wrinkly. Does Brenner even have white hair? Possibly?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So enjoying this lovely breakfast. There are honey cakes. There are fresh milk. They must have cows somewhere. There are.
At least we're hoping it's cows.
Exactly.
Goat's milk's not that bad.
Fair enough. Well, it could be goats too. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely.
Have you never had goat cheese?
I think I did. Yeah.
I've only seen some dogs, so
It's a mammal.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Will Soren join in the breakfast?
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly.
Same way I do everything else.
Frida will also sneakily try to put some cakes and stuff into her bag.
Same thing.
Like
Wait,
sneak-
Soren does everything.
Yeah,
Well,
sneakily
you know-
but not so sneakily.
Right.
Sneakingly, if you haven't already, feel free to upgrade your food and water resources to D12s, because it's really easy to do here, and nobody seems to mind.
I mean, we brought it up at supper, so.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, no, they're completely fine with that.
Ooh, food upgrade too.
Yeah.
At breakfast, I'll ask. So, do you guys have like an archery range or anything where somebody could practice?
Well, when Marigoline finally joins you, as they will.
Margaline, yay.
Mix that up all the time, but as they will answer, yes, of course we have.
Excellent. After breakfast, I need to get some practice in.
Very well. They will lead you to that place, or send for someone who can. It seems like most of you want to do practice of various kinds. Needmere will be happy to cross blades with Frida. And of course, Celestial Passage and Marigoline might have one or two things to say to each other regarding the arts, the druidic arts.
Absolutely.
As you are already have started upon the path of sight, Marigoline might be able to share one or two things, one or two pieces of advice surrounding the path of shifting shapes.
I would gladly accept any advice and guidance that Margaline would impart upon me.
They will do so.
That sounds very cool.
Brannar might have a bigger trouble with that. There are no sorcerers around here, that's for sure.
You'd probably talk to Margaline and see if there's any smithies around here.
We We have a smithy, yes.
You can probably go visit them.
Oh, Brainer, you can build things.
I can craft things. I can't build structures, but I
Get on that.
Can you
a
build?
tent.
Can you build a bow?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Why
technically, let's
is
see
that
here.
something you're interested in?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm still carrying around my arrows, but I lost my bow like, a while ago. And I haven't had a chance to replace it.
You'd have to be a bowyer to do that.
All right.
Maybe
Well,
someone here is a bowyer.
yeah, but then they're gonna want what do they call it? Money. So
Well,
that's a problem.
we have to see the Elder Seer later. Maybe
They might trade
arrangements can be
favors.
made.
Sorry, they might
Margoline-
trade favors.
If Margoline hears you say that, Soren, she will look at you and money. Why?
Well, traditionally, that's how civilized people do things: is you take the goods and then you give them coin.
We send trade delegations to human settlements. That we do. You're our guests, though. Of course, we might look upon it in a positive light if you could give us assistance in the future in various ways.
Well, I'm not.
Goods for services.
Yeah, I'm not above trading. What I can offer for. Yeah,
Very well.
I could do some hunting for you or whatever. I mean, I imagine you guys are pretty at home in the woods, so you probably don't need a guide.
They will smile at this. Now that the sun is in fact shining more clearly on Margoline's face than maybe before, it seems to you that they are wrinkled, almost as if by age, in ways that the other elves are not.
Yeah, I'll say. I don't. Oddly enough, don't mean to be rude, but why does it seem like you're so much older than the others?
They look a bit confused. Does it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the sun's hitting you.
Maybe. They smile. So I take it then that this is this first quarter day. Everybody's training something basically, and you all have teachers. I would think. Big, are you training something as well?
If I can, yeah.
Healing, big healing.
Big healing.
I mean, no pressure.
Exactly. Now, that would be healing skill. You don't need a trainer for that. You only need really trainers for a new talent specifically. But you do need a quarter day to spend XP, so that makes sense.
Oh, can't the minstrel learn the way of healing?
The path of healing, no, that's a druidic path.
Ah.
But the minstrel can definitely. Well, you have level 3 in healing already. That would be a lot of XP to raise that. 20 specifically.
There is Path of the Hymn if Big doesn't have it.
I am on Path of Him now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could rank it up to level 2 for a mere 6 XP. Do you have 6 XP? I don't see it here.
I think I do, or at least very close.
To say everyone and if the new characters had at least 6, I had an extra.
I'm only at 5 because my darks didn't really.
Yeah, I'm either 5 or 6. So
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you
no,
haven't
I'm at
actually
6 for
recorded
the
it.
extra.
You got, what
You
was
only
it,
got 2 the
3
first
for
one.
last session?
Yeah, we got 2 the first. Everyone else got 3 the second. I got 4 because
Right,
I
so Big should be at 5, which is 1 XP short to get level 2 Path of the Hymn, I'm afraid.
He's got to try harder.
Yes.
That's right.
It's gotta be bigger.
Well, I'm going to take some time at the range, and I'm going to try to see if one of the elves can teach me how to drop a stone into my sling faster, or how to notch an arrow faster, i.e. the fast shooter talent.
That can definitely be arranged. There's definitely someone here who knows the fast shooter talent.
I would like, oh, I lost his name already. What?
Niedemir?
Niedemir?
Yep.
To teach me Path of Blade, I think it is.
Indeed. You will cross blades. Oh.
So I currently am on Path of Shield.
Yes, exactly. That should be no problem at all. There we go. Niedemir has Path of the Blade. You can meet up there in one of the little clearings. You're still all these training grounds, all these facilities are in the outer ring of the castle. You have not been introduced to the inner ring. But Niedemir will be there in the training grounds with his sword. He uses a broadsword and, in fact, a dagger. He can fight two-handed. I mean, if you want to do a training session with him, we could roll some dice for that, just for fun.
Okay.
Oh, Frida, before you get yourself killed by an elf.
Not gonna get killed by an elf.
They will use wooden swords.
You may as well have this, and I'll hand you my cooking cauldron. Because, I mean, you seem to be the cook, and, well, I mean, I can boil water in it, but I can't actually cook with it.
I would very much like that.
Didn't you have a cauldron before, Frida?
I did not.
Okay, then. You have a cauldron now. Is that a field kitchen? Does it count as a field kitchen?
No, it lets a chef cook a D6 plus 2 food units instead of just a D6.
Ah, all right.
Thank you.
Well, Frida does have...
I mean, to be fair, I'm going to eat my share of that, so...
Frida is much stronger than Soren, I would think.
Now we can upgrade to soup stones.
Exactly.
Ooh, stone soup. Oh, yes.
It's on your stomach.
All right, so I'll add a
Gotta get a
cauldron
good soup
to
stone, though.
her equipment,
Iron.
which is apparently weight normal. There we go. You still have a carrying capacity of more than that. You're at 10. You have using 4, so you still have 6 left. Frida.
Yeah, Frida's quite large.
All right then. Yeah, you want to roll some dice for Frida and Niedemir? We don't have to do the whole hidden combinations thing right now. It's more of a
No,
friendly
it's just
jest.
So just melee
Yeah.
or
Yeah, exactly.
and gear bonus or no? Because I'm using wind swords.
You can still get a 1 die gear bonus. It's more like your hits are not going to actually hurt each other.
Okay. I hit.
You hit. I'm going to add... There we go.
I don't know if they hit me back, but I hit.
There we go. Okay. You will notice as you are fighting with each other and crossing the blades. Now, Niedemir, to make things even, Niedemir will not use his dagger. But he is very, very skilled, as you can see. And as you do your typical thrusts, you do have a longsword, which is a good deal, heavier than his broadsword. But even so, he is fast. He's clearly working on overcoming his enemy with a technique rather than brute force.
Yeah, which is the opposite of Frida. She's very
Yep.
much, she just kind of blocks and pushes her way through.
Yeah, and he is allowing her to do that and then sidestepping her, coming inside her guard, and
Yeah.
marking, with a quick slap with the
Poke.
broadside of the sword, the flat
Yeah.
side of the sword, bam, on the side, just to mark that
Yeah.
he could hit her. You were open there, Frida. Good charge.
Yeah.
Good charge, though. Good charge.
Yeah.
I appreciate this type of aggression. It will serve you well.
Frida's got lots of aggression.
She does. But you need to be sure that you don't leave yourself open to the counterattack and the riposte.
Yeah, so that's I think it was actually Sword Fighter I was looking to learn.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, he doesn't actually have that talent. He has Path of the Blade.
Okay, well I will just take the first Path of the Blade then.
Yep. And that means that when you hit in a close combat attack, you can spend a willpower point to find a weakness in your opponent's armor, and
Yes.
it has no effect against your attack. Of course, he can't
That's
really
a nice
demonstrate the
badge.
techniques terribly well on you because you don't wear armor. But there are...
That in itself could be a weakness.
You might want to look to that at some point in the future. But there are enough dummies there with which they have put up there for training purposes, where you can show
Yeah.
how to find those spots in the armor. Go for the armpits, he says.
Yeah.
They're rarely protected. Meanwhile, Celestial Passage and Margoline are sitting in the garden, cross-legged, meditating upon nature and the flow of the ether through all living things. Margoline will introduce Celestial Passage to the language of the beasts.
Oh.
And
Oh.
speak to Celestial Passage on how to align your etheric vibrations with that of the bestial minds, so that you can hear and understand all the animal speeches.
Such a breadth of knowledge.
Indeed. And that would allow you then to... do you have an XP to get the first level of shapeshifting?
Yeah, it's 6.
Okay.
I could technically also take the first level of healing, but that depends on what everyone's plans are time-wise.
Mm. Well, Margoline cannot introduce you to the path of healing.
That's fine. I
But,
enjoy spending time with Margaline. They're quite interesting.
Animal speech, cat's paw, and hawk's eye. She will all describe these spells for you and how to tune your etheric flows to meld your mind with the spirit of the cat. There is, of course, a cat available for this.
Aw.
And they do have raptor birds that they have tamed that can also be used to speak to and reach out and try to touch on their animal powers and make use of that, borrow them for a short while, as it were. Yeah, Brenner, you wanted to go to the smithy.
Yeah, so Brainer's gonna either head to the smithy or possibly even take up sort of suggestion here of looking out how to make a bow. So he'll head to the smithy regardless and see if you can see any bow eaters there. that he can possibly train off of. And if not, he'll head down to the archery range.
Well, they're definitely crafters here, and if he wants to learn the first rank of bowyer, the talent bowyer, he can definitely do that. There's
Perfect.
it's going to be there's always someone who needs to repair their bow and make a new bow. It's so many bows here. These guys are archers. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And of course, there is in the workshop. You will see that there is going to be maybe one or two or three elves sitting there and working with all sorts of different wood types and glues and tendons and all the materials you need for fletching and making a bow. And of course, yeah, there's so much wood chippings on the ground that you can walk around on, feel crunching under your feet, and that smell of freshly carved wood, it's all over the place. They're just it seems happy to share their insights and find someone from outside who is eager to learn. So they will share those insights for sure.
So, yeah, Brainer will definitely soak up all that knowledge and add the talent here to his list.
You are becoming the craftsperson of this group, par excellence, as it were.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to.
All right. Just remember that whenever I start casting spells.
See any difference between your magic and Celestial Passage's magic, so...
Remember what? It's not like you're making anything of value to me.
You
So
fixed your
magic
spyglass.
What have you done for me lately?
Well, unrelated, can I borrow your spyglass?
Not if you intend on bending it again.
Okay.
Now, boys, play nice.
Well, technically, I believe it was Celestial Passage who bent it himself.
Shh, quiet. That never happened.
We'll never speak of it again.
I didn't see it, so... Must have come that way. Alright, so Celestial Passage, you said you needed to spend some more time here?
Well, that depends on everyone else's time frame, plus our meeting. It's possible I can learn the beginnings of the third path of Druidic magic while we're here as well, and be able to heal when we're when we're in a situation where mundane is not enough.
Okay. When is our meeting?
They haven't told you yet.
Plus, the ability to cleanse demonic energies is always nice.
True.
Brainer.
Right.
Raynar kills demons, thank you. I've seen it.
It's right there in his title, Demon Slayer.
Exactly.
It's not Demon Conjurer and then Slayer.
How do we know?
Because I've seen it.
Oh yeah. Well,
He has a point.
while we're waiting for the meeting, I'll spend some time just out in the wooded area away from people.
Yeah, that seems fine. There's space here for all sorts of different pursuits, apparently, and if Soren doesn't want to intermingle with others, then they will leave him alone for the most time.
Yeah, I'll stay close by so somebody can find me when it's time to go and meet with the mucky mucks. But other than that, I'll just kind of be getting the lay of the land because I haven't been here before. So,
as you are sort of seeking out your own spot there, you will in fact find Belrimi, the Elvish girl that apparently got along famously with Brenner last night. She'll be there, and she's looking at you with a curious glance.
What?
Oh, I'm just curious, I suppose. I haven't met many humans in the past.
It's because we suck and we tend to keep to ourselves.
Really?
Oh my god, she's a groupie.
Or keep to yourself. But humans have built so many villages, though. It seems like humans really love to be together a lot.
Yeah, with themselves. And it doesn't change the fact that they suck.
We've had... She's looking a bit sad when you say this. We've had a long and bad history with many humans, but not all humans, I think.
All humans, all the time, every time, will disappoint you and let you down.
She's looking into the ground a moment and then looks up at you. Would you disappoint me?
Yes. Without a doubt.
Why?
Because it's human nature. They like to pretend that they're social creatures, but they're not.
Pardon me for asking, but have you disappointed someone in the past?
Oh, probably. Let's see. My parents, my entire village, my childhood friends, various people I've worked for over the years. Yeah, a few.
Oh. Oh, is there anything you can do to not do that? Or I'm not sure I understand.
See, here's the thing with people, and it may be the same for elves. I don't know. I don't know your people. I don't pretend to know your people. Humans will say one thing and then do the other. Or they'll be expected to do a thing and then they don't do it. So, like, if I'm out here in the woods, if I run into a bear or a wolf or whatever, there's no pretense. It's not going to pretend to care for me. It's not going to pretend to like me. It's going to either try to run off or try to kill me.
That's true enough. I've noticed that with beasts, for sure.
So it's simple. People are not.
Thank you for sharing that.
So maybe your culture is different.
To you, she looks sort of innocently naive, or maybe it's just an issue of cultures clashing that she can't quite comprehend what you're getting at. But she's trying. You can see the cogs there in her head sort of turning as she's trying to understand what you just said.
Yeah, it'll come with age. Of course, for all I know, you could be 1,000 years old, so...
I'm not that old. Though I think I've maybe lost count of the years. But I don't meet a lot of humans, as I said, so this is very interesting. But you like nature and you like animals, don't you? I mean, you're a hunter.
I understand them. It's not about like or dislike.
I understand them too. Maybe we have something in common then.
Well, maybe. I'm gonna go over here and hunt. I've had my fill of people today. No offense to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna be over there.
Of course. Would you want to hunt together sometime when you feel that you don't necessarily want to be alone?
Maybe. Do you talk this much when you're hunting?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I'm talking mostly a lot now because I'm curious about you and humans.
Okay. All right. So maybe sometime, as long as you're quiet.
Okay. She will leave you alone for now.
Excellent.
Well, very well. Your morning goes by there. B, what will you be doing since you can't increase your you don't have quite enough XP to increase unless you want to go for some talent that you don't already have.
I would try in vain to try and increase my talents.
Yeah.
Because I want to be a part of the group. So I'll try, but I won't be able to actually succeed anything. But hopefully, when I do get that extra point, it'll come just a little bit easier.
The elvish bards and minstrels that are there will definitely be someone there with an instrument. Seem maybe a little bit too concentrated on their own work, and they work so amazingly slowly. I think Biag probably just gets frustrated with the whole process because they can spend literal hours going over just a few seconds of a piece of music just to get all those notes and the rhythm just so. Whereas Biag is used to maybe take in the entire piece and then work on the segments and then go back to the entire piece. And after spending hours with these minstrels, you still have no idea of what this particular piece of music is about. What's the theme? What's the overall melody like? Because they're just focusing on those few little notes and accords, if you will. Maybe that's...
Yeah, it's pretty maddening for me, so I'm gonna try and lay back and figure things out, but
as far as you can tell,
now,
they just ignored you, and when you finally leave, it might be that they never even noticed that you were there.
Story of my life, eh?
By lunch, of course, I guess you all, get back to the same table again. That's where you have your dishes laid out, some cold cuts and whatnot. You'll get a bigger supper in the evening. But once lunch is finished, Marigolane will say it is now time for you to meet the masters.
As the time has come, let us go and meet. Discover
What sort of masters? In the Grand Castle there?
They will meet you in the guest chamber. It is the three masters of the paths. These are high-ranking druids of the Order of the Golden Bow. And they wish to speak to you. Particularly, of course, Frida and Brennar, the Demon Slayers.
Sure, let's go have a conversation. Frida, make sure she has all of her things on her.
Yep.
Just in case
Brennar will probably do the same.
They will lead you through a different pathway than you've taken before. Before we get to the three masters, let me take you through the Hall of Memories. Once, a long time ago, elves lived all over these Forbidden Lands. All the way down as far south as Harga. And I'm sure you've heard of the great city of Varasa. And they lead you through a passageway that is basically a curtain of leaves. It's like vines that are hanging in exactly the right place to divide different sections of this garden from each other. And as you come into this area of this castle, they have worked really hard on creating murals here. What you see in front of you is these sculptures and lush gardens of every conceivable herb, and they've planted these gardens on the grounds, and when you get to the walls, when your eyes are following the paths of the gardens, it's almost like the flowers have been led out to lead your eyes toward the walls. The walls themselves are like great mosaics, but three-dimensional such. And as you walk, you can see how you can almost feel like you can walk into these fields that are depicted on the mosaics. These are verdant fields of golden wheat. You can feel the smell of incense and the freshwater streams that are making it so easy to breathe here. And these are the vistas that are depicted on the walls are those of the most abundant fields that you can possibly imagine. The golden wheat, the glistening of the herbs that are in the gardens of these villages depicted on the walls. The villages themselves built with exquisite precision from stone and wood. Trees towering above the villagers, and everywhere you can see elves that are working the fields, tending the gardens, laying the roofs. Whatever this place is, it's almost paradisical in your eyes. And Margoline, they are gesturing out with the hands and say, "Behold how the fields of Hargau once used to look like." And then you walk through this and pass through it into the next scene. And now the garden is gone, and instead it's a mosaic showing a brutal battle. And it's like you're walking across ashen fields, and your noses, you feel the smell of ashes and burning. And you can see on one side the armies with elves as commanders. They're standing there, they're pointing out towards the enemy, and lines and lines of orcs in heavy armor that are moving to the commands of these generals, the elvish generals, moving as one and struggling heroically. And somewhere in the background on that side you can see dwarven crafters who are standing by furnaces and making all these heavy armor and weapons and swords that the orcs are fielding. And they are marching these orcs in perfect lines, perfect square lines against against the enemy, under the leadership of the elves, who are standing there in the front line together with the orcs and pointing towards the enemy heroically. And then on the other side, the enemy. And these are humans with, you can see their coarser features than the elves. Heavy beards, the look in their eyes. These eyes are made out of, you can't really tell what, but something crystalline, maybe almost reddish. And they are twisted humans. A lot of them have like 4 arms or fangs in their mouths or large claws. And all of them have some kind of adornment of heavy chains or big rusted pieces of metal, maybe as a medallion. And they are fighting side to side with actual demonic creatures, almost human-like bats standing on legs with long clawed fingers. Some kind of thing that is a combination of a bull and a human, like a human with a bull's head that is almost fanged mouth, flying creatures that look like a cross of human women and raven birds of gigantic size that are all sweeping down towards the forces of the orcs and elves. And behind all of them rises a huge, dominant, dark figure in a black cloak, a hooded cloak, a bearded figure with glowing red eyes inside that dark hood, with a hand outstretched like a claw. And Margoline will... And then the Alder Wars came and destroyed Harga forever. This is what the sorcerer Zigofer wrought upon our now cursed lands. These lands that used to be the Raven lands. Margoline seems touched by this scene.
It's hard not to be.
We have to remember what we have lost, and do what we can to stem the tides of darkness. There is a slight glance from Margoline towards Brennar. Maybe it was a mistake to let some of our kin live among the humans long ago.
Frida will step closer to Brainard almost instinctively.
We can't know that truly, one way or another.
All we can do is what we have now.
That is true enough. Spoken wisely, Brennar. Let us never forget the evils that Zigofer brought to these lands.
Agreed.
Margoline leads you onwards from this scene of desolation, and it's almost like a weight that comes off your mind as you exit from this area.
Frida mutters something under her breath about we can stop judging others for their heritage.
It was a comment about the past, not Brainard's immediate heritage.
Absolutely, says Margoline.
All people suck all the time. The sooner you accept that, the easier life gets.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I'm sorry
I prefer to think that we can avoid that.
I'm sorry that
Find
you've
a
had such
better-
experiences, Margoline will say.
Find ways of making Soren continue to be helpful and, well, not friendly, but at least socialize with us. Bring out his golden side, despite his curmudgeon
Tolerable.
armor.
And so you finally come through another curtain of vines and get into it's another part of the garden. There's still a lot of trees and plants and some running water, but this is a more open space. It's like a square maybe, or an assembly hall with lots of benches in a circular setup, and on the far side there are in fact 3 elves sitting. There's a man and 2 women. One of them seems young, I guess. Hard to judge again by the elven faces. The other woman is, I'm not going to say sitting necessarily, more like leaning very conveniently in a very cat-like fashion, and in fact she does have cat's eyes. And as you'll look at her, you'll notice that her fingernails are more like cat claws than typical fingernails. And she is looking at all of you very intensely. Margoline stands in the center and invites you all to sit.
I
He
go.
just walks right through. Hello?
I get trampled.
I wouldn't walk over you.
I can see it. It's for that Brainard comment earlier. Grumble, grumble.
Might be a little bit, yeah.
Have a seat.
So, you wanted to talk to us about something? Who are you people again?
These are the masters, says Megaline.
Masters of what?
This is Gardomir. They introduce the man. He's the master of healing. Our Kandunesta. And this is the Kandunan, the master of sight. Winya. And Kandunastu, the master of shapes. Almanda.
I'm Frida, but apparently you already know that.
They will nod.
Don't forget Demon Slayer.
Yes, Demon Slayer, the Bloody. I like that title.
Winya, she's the young lady in the middle. You're all welcome here. It is not often that we get visitors and guests of other kin. And I would think that perhaps you, Frida, are the first of your kin to visit our halls. Or at least the first of your kins for many, many a year. You're most welcome, and you have earned this.
You're welcome, I think.
We thank you for vanquishing the demon of the human settlement.
You're welcome. Again, I think.
The question is now, what are your intentions?
I didn't really have any except not get arrested by the guards.
And yet you took it upon your own initiative to slay that demon.
Well, yeah, it's a demon. You don't leave them alive.
Exactly. You see? And Rinya smiles towards that cat woman. I'm saying these are adventurers that are of good heart. They are questing to destroy demons and bring healing to the lands.
I should mention that coming across demons was an accident. We didn't know there were demons there when we showed up.
Such is the way of fate and destiny sometimes. Not see where you're going to go, but you are there, and then you act.
Wise words indeed, Celestial Passage.
You guys really do love the pomp and circumstance, don't you?
I like circumstance. Pomp I can do away with.
I like pomp.
Winya seems a bit confused by these comments.
The big hall and the long stories and the cryptic messages. So why are we here? How do you know who we are?
How can we help you?
Can you please just speak plainly?
You are here because you slew the demons of Fort Riverstone.
Okay, so how do you know who we are in the middle of the woods?
Well, we've
Your
been
other
watching you.
elven friends came back and ran and told you? Like, because I'm really confused.
We have been watching you. Using our scrying.
How?
Celestial Passage, I'm sure you can inform them of how we can watch you.
I have tried to tell Frida that's one of the parts of the art of the sight. You can see distances, you can see events, past and present and future eventually.
I believe others might call it magic, Frida.
Yeah, it's all woogity to me.
That's fair. Your expertise is in using the blade to protect people, is it not?
Yeah, that's where some of my expertise lie.
And
They do not lie in magic.
we are druids of the Golden Bow. Our expertise lies in the use of the ether to protect the lands, just as you use the blade. And that is how we have been able to watch you.
Okay,
I think-
that's...
We have been
Sorry, go
watching.
ahead.
We have been watching Fort Riverstone for a long, long time.
I think what Frida's getting at is there a reason why you wanted to meet us? Like, do you have a job? Do you have demons that need killing? I mean, just come out and say it.
Not that
Yeah,
we don't
because we're
appreciate
good at
your
that.
hospitality, though.
We wish to get to know you better because it is not a common thing to meet demon slayers. And
And
again,
if you-
she looks towards Brennar and Frida. As for the other three of you, Celestial Passage is on the path of the druids already. Now,
Sorry, go ahead.
we are not as familiar with Biag and Soren. When we were scrying on Fort Riverstone, we did see how Big helped people in need who were close to dying. And that seemed to us a very generous thing to do, to take your time to help someone you've never met before.
You don't have to call me out in front of everybody. I do have a reputation to maintain, and sometimes, if people know you're giving it out for free, they won't want to pay you.
I know you speak in jest, says Winia.
You still haven't told me what you want from me. Because everybody wants something. So what is it you want?
Hopefully,
Frida,
our outlook is the same.
Frida, these
Yeah.
lands are the lands from the images on the passage we just came through.
Okay, I
That's
want
not the only demon that we're going to find.
I
Exactly.
understand, but I want, descriptions and plain speaking, passive aggressive
It's-
pictures doesn't do it for me. Sorry.
That's not how druids tend to work.
Every druid
Well-
I've met has.
Sorry, not all of us. The master of shifting is far more plain spoken than the masters of sight.
Yeah,
Okay.
this cattish looking elf is kind of hissing at this moment. She's simply a mercenary, a sellsword. You will not get what you want from her. Why are we wasting our time with these kin?
Why are
Because
you
we've
wasting
gotten
our
rid
time?
of-
You asked me here. I would just like to plainly know what it is you want. I saw your pretty pictures in your gardens, and I saw that there were demons in the pictures, but again,
They want us to help rid the rest of the realm of demons.
Exactly.
They don't trust sorcerers as far as they can throw them, because I've been seeing the evil eye pretty much since I've been in here.
yeah, I've noticed.
And truthfully, based off of the images that I just seen in the last room, I don't
They
blame
probably
them
don't
one
trust wolves as far as they can throw them either.
Well, considering most of us can't throw you at the very far, I mean, I could throw you perhaps arm's length, and I trust you within that distance.
You would.
Oh, that's the bad distance.
It is, unfortunately. Frida's far more likely to gut me and leave me in a steaming pile on the ground in that distance than I am to raise a welt.
But yes, to Frida's expression, if you do have something that you need dispatched, demon or other, please do speak plainly, as we truthfully do not have time for riddles, and as most of us here don't live as long as you do, unfortunately, if the dialogue keeps up much longer, some of us may die of old age.
Thank you. If you have a quest, give me your quest. Otherwise, stop talking in riddles.
They are quick people, aren't they? Says Gardomir the man. Indeed. We do want to protect the lands, as we've said. And we were hoping that perhaps you have the same interest to curb the evils of the land and save what we can. There are many things that we can do to do so. And the question is if our work and your work will be aligned and we can work together in the future.
Yes.
We can do that as long as you tell me what that work is going to be.
I
like,
will.
specifically where you want me to go and what you want me to kill.
Of course. First, I think Celestial Passage is looking for introduction into the Druidic Order of the Golden Bough, yes?
I would much appreciate and be greatly honored to formally be inducted in this.
I think that his spiritual assistance and guidance can be of great value to demon slayers, says Gardomir. Big, it seems to me that you want to help ease suffering, says Gardomir.
Absolutely, yes.
And Soren is an excellent pathfinder. We are going to send a team of Red Runners to Varasa, or what was once Varasa. Rumor has it that there is an elven ruby there that needs to be rescued.
You want us to keep them alive?
Oh, we've
And
been
assist
speaking
them.
of that recently.
Of course, Varasa is not abandoned. Instead, it has become the capital, the very center of the Urhur clan of orcs. The Emperor holds court there. And what we understand is that he has this ruby in his possession. That makes it very hard for elves to gain access to this place. Perhaps you could.
Not as hard for a wolf, a human, and a halfling?
Precisely. We have already shared some of our wisdom with you. We're happy to continue to do so and help you in turn. If you could help us with this quest.
We
and
can get
rescue
your
this
ruby. Assuming my other party members agree to this.
Absolutely, I
have no
think
qualms
that
with
could
this
help.
quest.
I'm just curious, because you had mentioned the rubies, or somebody had mentioned the rubies last night. Are these like actual rubies, or are we talking about some metaphysical nonsense?
No, they are actual rubies. We are
Okay.
rubies. This flesh that you see us wear is simply how we interact with this world.
See, now it's getting into the metaphysical again. I just need to know it's a physical ruby that like I can grab and throw in a pouch.
It is a physical ruby that you can grab and throw in a pouch.
Okay,
But
thank
no-
you. That's all we need to know. We don't need any more metaphysical explanations.
But it is
We
We
also...
don't know the other aspects of what the ruby means.
But it
I'm
is,
sure, you know, Celestial Passage and Brainer might be interested in that, but we just need to know, like, if we're going in there, we're not going to suddenly be surprised by going, like, oh, this ruby is a concept of something, and how are we going to steal it?
Or we need to pick up a person.
it is in
Name
fact
Ruby.
a ruby.
You could always steal a concept. That's possible.
You can, but it's much more difficult.
It is an actual ruby, yes.
Okay, good.
About, slightly smaller than your fist.
So
It's
why are
about the
they
size
so
of a heart,
concerned
in
about
fact.
keeping it from you guys? Is it worth
It's a
money? Is
trophy,
it valuable?
if nothing else.
Yeah, it's a pissing contest.
If only it was. We elves do not die just because you slay our bodies. Those rubies are our hearts, and they contain us. That ruby is still alive.
Whose heart are we retrieving?
They are looking at each other. Her name was Aridne, and it still is. She's still in there.
So, you guys are gonna resurrect her?
If that is her wish.
Cool.
But the orcs stole her from us. And of course, as a ruby, she cannot easily take the shape of flesh again. That requires...
Do they know there's a person in there?
That depends on whether she has spoken to them or not.
Oh, that's creepy.
So it's more of a kidnapping than a theft job.
But an easily portable kidnapping. Grab your water skis, let's join this pissing contest, and let's go.
I'm just going to ignore almost all of that, and
It's a ruby, Thorin. It's a ruby.
That's all I need to know.
The big pretty stone.
Oh, I know what a ruby is. I'm not stupid. I just don't understand this metaphysical
No,
bullshit.
neither do I. Neither do I. It's a big pretty rock we need to go get for them.
It's alright, guys. It's an elf thing.
Can you give us some sort of a direction?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, how do we get to Varasa?
The old elven city of Varasa, and of course, Mergoline can produce a map to put on the floor, and it lies right there.
Sorry, where?
It's the ruin in the Furlin Mark, closest to the lake.
Lies
Okay.
west of Lake
Good
Varda,
walk.
deep in the Fallen Mark. Well, not terribly deep. Depends on how you approach it, I suppose.
Okay, that shouldn't take us more than a couple of days to get there.
It should not. We are dispatching a team of Red Runners as well, that you can coordinate with. And Margoline will be part of that group.
So are the orcs... I'm assuming we're going to have to, sneak in and steal it. They're not just going to be... Hey, can we get that ruby? The orcs aren't going to say, well,
No.
sure, since you asked so nicely.
If we ask really, really nicely, maybe.
If
They might
think
be
it's
willing to
just-
show it off to the three of you.
Yeah.
The orcs nowadays, says Gardomir. And when you look at him now, his skin is almost like wooden. They are difficult to talk to, for us at least. I think they have lost their ways and do not understand our advice anymore. But this is why it's probably a good idea that people who are not elves...
How did the orcs feel about kin like Brainer and Celestial Passage?
Well, they might be less inclined, less friendly towards them, for sure. They do have our blood, and therefore have some of our looks and attitudes.
Okay. So is it
Maybe we can make them look less elfy.
Trust me, I can pass as a human when needed.
I can help with that, says Margoline.
I'm wondering too, if we get caught or spotted or whatever, whether it's going to be kill them on sight or give them some leeway to discuss.
Orcs tend to be aggressive, this is true, says Gardomir. But, in this day and age, I think it is much more likely that they will capture you and ask questions than slay you outright. There's not been outright wars between the orcs and their neighbors for a good long year. at least not since before the Blood Mist. They do raiding and thievery, for sure, but no wars since the Older Wars. So, and ever since the Blood Mist lifted, we have not heard the drums of war from the orcs.
And this is... Sorry, go ahead.
If nothing else, we would be in a much more unique position where we can examine the traffic coming and going from the capital than the runners could, and assess whether we might be able to try the front gate versus sneaking in.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking. I mean, we have Big, who's a traveling minstrel. So if we're just travelers, would we be able to gain access to the city?
Precisely. But if we're not seeing any mixed travelers, then we already know that's best that we try stealth rather than subterfuge.
Yeah.
Word is, says Gardemir, that the orcs do trade with other kin, including even the dwarves.
Okay.
And the dwarves from the camp were sailing in that general direction as well. I know it's more towards the mountains, but...
Yeah.
The mountains are the domains of the dwarves, for sure, and there's always been rumors and suspicions that war might happen between the dwarves and the orcs at any time, but for now, they seem to be getting along and trading with each other.
We have some friends among them. Maybe we could get them to help.
Or at the very least get us aid getting in and out.
Yeah.
Why would I know as a scout? Are there any towns or hamlets along the coast here, so we might be able to catch a boat across the lake, or are we gonna have to huff it around?
Well, the town of Fort Riverstone, the castle of Fort Riverstone, would be the closest. But then again,
Well,
That's
you
the-
know,
That's the
Some of
verbal
us are-
equivalent of playing with your collar.
some of us aren't wanted there, so you know.
exactly.
Well, sorry, some of us aren't wanted there, and some of us aren't on wanted posters there. So
I'm barely recognizable, even when I'm not on a wanted poster.
Could
What
Braynar
do you-
maybe make a boat with his craftsmanship?
Once he gets done making a bow.
We want to stay here for a week.
How long does it take to build a boat?
it's gonna take us a couple of days to get to the coast.
It would.
If we have to go around and avoid Fort Riverstone. Actually, that's the short way around anyway. So,
A rowing
looking
boat
at
takes
probably
only
a
2 days
week.
to make. Interestingly enough, and it requires the builder and sailor talent, which none of you have, and a saw and a hammer.
all right.
You might be able, yeah.
So short way around the lake it is.
Yeah. Because even if Brainard could build a boat, I'm not sure I trust any of you to actually be able to pilot it.
Oh, trust me, I have no skill in the nautical sense yet.
We could go fishing while we're on the boat. That's about it.
What is it to steer a boat?
Sailor
Navigation
talent, I
of some
think.
type.
It's what? Sorry?
I think it's still survival, and then you get a bonus from the sailor talent, basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not horrible then, just not advised.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, let's just do whatever the Red Runners were planning on doing.
Oh, they're probably just gonna walk.
Does
If I
anybody
say that, I'm actually 8 dice.
Does anybody have any knowledge about the Dankwood? Like, are we better off going through that or skirting that?
I turn and look at at our hosts.
If you travel with the Red Runners, you will suffer no immediate dangers from the elves of the Dankwood, that is for sure.
Looks like they know their way around.
I'm sure they'll keep us apprised of territories we may wish to avoid as we're traveling with them.
Based off this map, from what I can see, there is a little town once we get through the Dankwood. We go through the
Yeah, there
harbor
is.
passage.
Are you referring to this village?
Yes, that village.
Or Narnots.
The village of the Yellow Ring.
Egglanders
we're-
have made settlements both here and there around our woods. This is true. You could head for that place.
Alright. How many are we going to travel with them, or are we going to travel on our own just in case anything catches our attention along the way?
It's probably better to travel on our own.
Well, we can always start with them and then break off.
Yeah, maybe
Surprise.
travel with them till we get out of the Dankwood, and then break off
At
on
the
our
very
own.
least, the heart of the Elven territories.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can communicate with the Red Runners in the event that we do get separated?
That will be harder, I think, says Margoline.
Use your.
We
This
shall-
is more towards Celestial Passage. And use your druidic powers to communicate. You see everything, correct?
I could find where they are, and I could possibly use my magic to guide us more directly to them. Depending how far away they are, my ability to speak words upon the wind may fail. However, depends on the separation.
I can scry for you, says Margoline.
As I can scry for you.
There we go.
Alright. Well, why don't we travel with them for a bit, and then if we get separated, we'll meet in. Looks like there's a little village on the coast, just to the northeast, about a day's travel.
The
Yeah, that
one
one.
at the by the river inlet.
Yeah, that one. So that'll be like our meetup space.
Why don't we, says Margoline, go and speak to the rest of the Red Runners and plan this in more detail?
I have one more question for our hosts. What exactly have you seen?
All the naughty bits.
We have seen many things. I'm not sure what your question refers to.
We've been told that you've seen things, had visions of us, what have you. What have you seen? Specifically in regards to us.
I think that's probably better for another day. We can talk more whenever we get back.
Yeah, Winya is shifting a little bit in our seat when you're asking that question.
I
You
would
might
say that they've
tip the
seen...
balance of the Forbidden Lands.
Yes. That's very sad. It probably has more to do with the balance of things than they would like to leave into the hands of outsiders.
Magic stuff.
Woogity.
I really hate Woogity.
But it got us here to this point.
If it is any help to you, Frida, it is unclear to me as well. Visions are not always easy to untangle and understand. But I believe that this ruby is tied to all of you and your fates.
Oh, goody.
And that is simply the first branch of a larger path. A path that is deeply intertwined with the fate and future of the Forbidden Lands itself. Perhaps you might even be able to help us restore the Ravenlands as it formerly was. Exactly how that could come to pass, I cannot tell at this point.
Sure.
And here's the thing, Frida. If you know what the future holds, you're either going to run away from it, or you're going to run towards it. Why not just wander and see what happens?
Fair point.
That stuff float.
All right. Just creeps me out that people are watching me.
We're
I'm
watching
it right
all
now.
the goings on in the lands as much as we can to protect them.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel better.
Watching you right now.
Are there any hazards or anything we should be aware of on our journey?
That is a good question. I have not seen that. Well, I mean, aside from these lands being dangerous as they are, I cannot give you any specifics about that.
Watch that turn to the left. It leads to Albuquerque.
Animals, monsters, starvation,
Normal.
dying of thirst.
And nefarious people.
Well, I've learned to talk to the animals.
Excellent. Alright.
Have a chat with the Red Runners.
Yeah.
And so you're meeting
I've
with...
occasionally been known as a nefarious person. Sorry, Macau.
Mm-hmm.
And so your meeting with the three masters concludes. And Margoline will lead you to your next meeting with the Red Runner group. And
These ones speak in riddles too.
They're the rangers, not the druids.
you
I
will
think they're the
find
more
out.
stabby type.
They are waiting for you close to your table, in fact. That starts maybe to feel a bit like home by now. And this group, you will find one person. She's another elf with skin that resembles aged, polished wood. That's the only difference between her and in terms of age or the quality of her skin, and maybe other elves. She's wearing a studded leather armor jerkin and a longsword, and knives as well. Next to her is a man who is silver-haired, gnarly, wiry. He has a longbow and also a broadsword and also studded leather, just like her. And when he is looking at you, you can just feel the complete and utter disdain. He's not trying to hide anything of that.
Agreed with them.
Rita's
And
gonna smile really wide.
Showed them teeth.
And then there is the tree, which initially is just your first reaction when you come in is like, when did that tree spring up there? I don't remember there was being a tree there. And then the tree moves.
Like a Trent?
It looks like a many-legged and many-armed giant gorilla walking on its knuckles, but it's a tree. Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is.
This is an ant, says Margoline. She will be
Oh no,
coming
I've
with us as
seen
well.
ants. They're tiny little bugs that go along the ground.
Ent. E-N-T.
And with an E.
Whatever entity that is, can we trust it?
There's
Yes.
something in the party scarier than me, so sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
this tree is much bigger than Frida.
It has at least 3 levels of bigger as a physical trait.
It kind of, if there's some kind of head there, you know, this trunk is about 10 meters tall, and there is some kind of head up there entangled in this canopy that serves as hair, and it twists that head as you come, but it doesn't speak.
Perhaps
Let
one of
me-
you can climb up and get a better vantage point.
You're
Let
my
me-
favorite so far.
let me introduce you to the Red Runner team. This is Clotilda, and Margoline points towards the tree. And here is Alsurso, and our leader, Ulmaya. And Ulmaya bows and is doing a full, very courteous bow towards you. Alsurso gives you no such courtesy at all.
I would bow, but it usually just comes off threatening.
Rainer will bow in response.
I'll bow respectively.
As will I.
I don't.
Ulmaya looks at the five of you. I hear
Respectively
that
meaning
you are
I bow to
demon
those that
slayers.
bowed.
Sorry, what was that?
I hear that you're demon slayers, says Ulmaya.
Yes.
Yep.
They are.
At the head office. 2? 3? 2.
That
2.5.
is
2.5.
quite an accomplishment. I'm very happy to share the paths with you for a while. Don't
I'm
mind
excited to talk
Alsurso.
to your ent friend.
Don't mind Alsurso, and she kind of gives an elbow to the man. He doesn't know where his manners are.
I'm used to that.
Probably pretty odd seeing a Brailer in here, let alone a sorcerer.
Well, yes. This is true, but I understand that you're using your powers for good.
That is the intent.
And, well, most people who don't know a wolf can assume they are demons, so.
Aren't you?
The jury's
Says
still out.
Alsurso. Shut it, says
No,
Ulmaya.
no, I'm not. I killed them. And if you're lucky, I'll save your ass.
No, actually, if you're lucky, she'll cook for you.
That too.
Mm-hmm. Alsurso is just... Yeah.
See, they were going to make great friends. It's excellent.
Or they're going to be the one that we have the emotional goodbye for at the end of the story.
Yeah, Alsurso does not seem terribly welcoming in any way, shape, or form. But Ulmaya is, and is courteous. As long as we all do our duty together, we will be able to complete this mission. I'm sure.
Excellent. Let's go rescue Ruby.
Indeed. When would you want to set out? You can set out early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that way we can get some travel while there's still light out.
I would think that is a good idea.
Probably a good idea.
Yay, I'll have time to play in the kitchens.
While we're heading out, is there anything? Do we need to gear up or anything? Like, does anybody need weapons or armor or tents or?
Do you have the means that I could go ahead and craft the bow?
All the materials that you could need to make anything that you want should be available here.
Armor would be fun, but I doubt you have it in my size.
It can be altered.
They would have to be altered, yes. What kind of armor are you looking to, says Ulmaya.
Oh, probably just some leather at the moment.
I'm sure something can be arranged before we leave in the morning.
I could use a bow, and I certainly won't say no to armor.
Very well then. We will arrange for that as well.
Well, Soren, if they're able to get you the bow, then I don't have to make one. I do have a bit more of a unique request, if it's possible, and I don't know if you have it here, but do you either have iron filings or If possible, can your smithies create a pentagram?
You're asking for sorcerer stuff from the elves.
That's why I asked. It's an odd request, but I would normally be crafting this myself if I had the means and time.
Margoline will look at you with that kind of... Yeah. We do not have pentagrams as a general sort of rule of thumb here. This is true. Iron fillings, of course, there is a lot of that by the smithy.
Excellent. I'll go grab some if that's okay with you before we leave tomorrow.
Yep.
And or make more than one.
I'll grab what's available.
And of
That
course,
they
for Celestial Passage, whatever spell components you might need for your craft is readily available.
Oh, excellent. I've learned a few new spells and want to make sure I have the foci for those.
Yes, exactly.
So if that's everything, I'm gonna go spend the rest of the evening in the kitchen and make sure we've got more than enough rations for the next few days.
Oh, you're going to make some extra food.
Yes.
Indeed, I mean, there are definitely the raw materials to make food here. So if you want to make the full amount, go ahead.
Yeah, I will make the full 12 rations or what have you.
Yeah. How is Big planning on spending the evening? Afternoon, even, because, this was...
Yeah. No, I've kind of become disillusioned hanging around with the minstrel folk. They spend 12 hours just rosining up their bows to get a song started. So I'll probably just be schmoozing and intermingling and, eating as much as I can because I know food out on the road is not going to be as delightful.
Indeed, yeah. No, this is absolutely true. Food here is delicious, to be sure.
That's why Frida's taking as much of it with her as she can.
Well, hopefully she'll be able to pay attention to other people cooking, so maybe a little spice on the weasel might be a little better next time.
My cooking
Why are you
fabulous.
throwing on a live weasel?
Her cooking is good. It's not the best kind of cooking. I'll say that there's got to be an elf with proper, level of chef skill here, so that actually gives you back your empathy.
I don't have the XP yet, but I'm
know,
almost there.
But you're on the path. You're on the path. Yeah.
I need one more level.
Ooh. That's a good progress there from you. But yeah, certainly you'll be able to make those preparations during the afternoon and evening without too much trouble. And again,
make sure we get some boots.
Yeah, you get your foods, and so that means that in the morning, then, to make a long story short, Frida will have. You wanted a leather armor?
Yes.
That will be one will be fitted for you. After all, you are going to do on a mission with the Red Runners, so why not? So you can get yourself a leather armor.
And how many quarter days is it till morning?
That would be afternoon, evening, and then night. So that's 3.
Okay. I will cook for 2 of those and then sleep for the night, so that'll give me 24.
That's
food.
True. And your armor then will be leather. I'll enter that on your sheet. And that gives I think it's a 2 armor rating.
It's 2, yeah.
Yeah. Did you want a helmet to that as well?
Sure, why not?
I can make a
They're just
studded
gonna
leather
give it
cap
to
for
me.
you. Yeah. I can make a studded leather cap for you.
Yeah.
Ear holes.
Yes.
For either Big or Celestial Passage, are either of you like skilled marksmen or markswomans?
Not really.
Alright.
If Big can't talk her way out of it, she shouldn't be in it.
No, I've no training in the field. I'm agile, but I've never really applied myself.
Soren wanted a bow, right?
Yes.
Indeed, you can have a bow. Add a d12 arrows to that, of course.
I've already got a d12 arrows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
do you want the other type too?
Alright. I will, if you guys are interested, while Frida's cooking, I will give you the basic rundown on how to use either a sling or a bow. Just in case. I have a sling one of you can have, or we can, I'm sure, get a sling or a bow from the elves. Like I said, just in case. We're not expecting you to, be up front or whatever, but if shit goes sideways.
I'd practice with a bow, that's for sure.
Who would Celestial Passage do that practice?
Yes, just in case.
Do you have XP to get your skill up to a 1 in marksmanship?
What's the cost for that?
It's times 5. Level times times 5. So it would be
So
5
not
XP.
quite yet. So I'll practice, and I'm agile, but I don't quite pick it up.
Okay.
So you've got some basic dexterity, so I'll give you the basic pointers so you don't like snap the bowstring into your forearm on every single shot.
Yeah. I'm the third highest agility.
I have also to the map added Eye of the Rose at Varasa, so you know where you're going.
Basically, I'm just trying to get rid of some gear so I don't get encumbered, that's all.
That's
Better
all
with
right.
the spear, but I like the axe.
So your visit with the elves is coming towards an end in Thalmorin, and this day, as the new dawn comes, it is a beautiful day. There is a few clouds in the sky, but the rain has now completely given way. It is sunny. It's getting a bit warmer, I suppose, though it was in fact warmer yesterday, to be honest. But it's still, it's good, decent temperature for traveling. It's the reason why it's a bit chillier today is because the wind is coming from the north. And it's a good day for traveling, for sure. So where are we going? The four Red Runners are with you and ready to go, all packed up with their equipment as well. Did you grab leather armor there as well, Soren?
Yes, and a leather cap.
Yep.
And I'm just kind of looking and going like, well, it feels like it's getting warmer out. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to need a tent.
Gunner's bringing his.
The weather can
If
turn.
you would like, Soren, I can carry your tent or take it off your hands for now.
The weather can turn once you get to the mountains.
Yeah.
I have the capacity to carry some extra stuff if you need it.
Ew, because encumbrance in this game is rough.
That's why you have a pack mule.
Yep, except you don't.
We have a pack wolfen.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
if
in
you don't
this
mind.
case, the elves will give some of their packing to Clotilda, the walking tree. There are branches where you can hang stuff on.
No, that's fine. If Frida's got the space, then I'll hand her the tent.
She does have the space, I think.
Yeah, because I didn't take much to begin with, as far as items, so.
Yeah, I'm almost overburdened with my one weight of my 4 capacity.
Well, you have other talents, I'm sure.
Yes. I would hope so.
Mhm.
I'm free to carry my things. Why? Because I'm busy making sure we're not snuck up on?
Yeah, the tent's only a light item, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And we will be off. We will head pretty much due west.
So before we leave, I'm just going to make sure I got my iron shavings.
Yes, you do that.
And while I'm there, I'm actually going to see if the smithy can give me a dagger. And in exchange, I'm leaving back at the encampment all of the items of Marita's that we had.
Mm. Wait a second here. Just updating the map so I know where you've been before.
Or we meet up with the Red Runners and the rest. Frida will whisper to Brenner, "Don't take this the wrong way. Elves are dicks."
Well, I am a frailer, not an elven spring.
They'd be so hospitable, giving you stuff.
Giving me stuff and being nice are two different things.
I don't know. Most of them were nice.
Giving
There's
you
a couple of them
shelter,
weren't.
trained you.
They were even nice to me, so.
So due west in this case, if we look at the map, is either, well, the northern or the southern hex. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's fair enough. So, who should lead the way? You have a great big company now with several elves together with you, including the Ent, Clotilda. And let's
No
see
one
now.
expects the tree.
I've got a total of 7.
I might let you do that. Lead the way then. In fact. The others. The Red Runners are more fighters than hunters. So feel free to do that.
We'll get one.
You do, indeed. You lead the way towards the southwest through this dark forest in this first quarter day. This lovely day for travel that is... For once, you're not drenched.
Yay.
Indeed.
I'm
Stopped
personally very
raining.
happy.
It's
How big might be drenched? We don't know.
as you leave Thamorind through those valves and the gate, Soren might notice, in fact, that Belrimi is waving to her, to you, to Soren, and then disappears behind a tree.
The immortal words a critical role. I walk away. Yeah, I don't even acknowledge her. Just, once we're out of earshot, I'll ask Brainer. I'll be like, "What's up with her?"
She likes humans. I can tell.
Oh, that makes one of us.
She got like a kink or something?
Well, that first night. I don't
Good
remember
night,
much
though.
of it. I might have had a bit too much wine, to be honest. But
Oh, you poor thing.
I hear that happens more when you get older.
listen, I can still keep up with the best of us.
You can
Apparently.
try and keep up with me if you want.
You know what? I hear there's extremely dangerous animals in these parts of the woods, so everybody needs to shut it.
As you keep walking through the forest, you this constant crunch, crunch, crunch as Clotilda is walking together with you. It makes a lot of noise, but also not that much noise, strangely enough.
Soren, I was just asking a passing squirrel, and apparently there's not a lot of threatening creatures around when there's an ant behind us.
This is entirely true.
All right, so you're going to actually make a reason why people need to not talk to me.
I thought the reason was you get more and more cantankerous and surly the more people talk to you.
Yeah, but you seem to be the only one aware of that fact.
But he keeps talking.
In my defense, I was talking to Brainer.
You will notice that Mary Ghislaine will probably often accompany Celestial Passage. And every once in a while probably approach Brennar as well and have words. But Alsurso never speaks a word to any of you, only speaks to Ulmaya, the Red Runner leader.
Oh, I enjoy Marcolane time. That's quite pleasant, and, well, he can shove it. I mean, there's not much room beside his head up as ours, but, you can probably get something else up there.
Who has the highest insight of all of you? I think that's actually Celestial Passage, isn't it? At 8?
Most likely.
Yeah. I want you to roll your insight at a minus 3. Interesting. I will roll as well.
I did see the Sixth Sense talent and started to get tempted.
Yeah, that's for ambushes. This is not that.
Oh no, I figured this is related to Mr.
Right, why did that? Okay, sorry about that.
Maybe it was Secret Roll.
There we go. All right. Yeah. I think with that, it's even. So you don't notice anything particular.
Dang it.
Yep. No, this has been a refreshing sort of stop at Thalmarine for all of you. You now have a new quest, a goal with your journeys, with your travels, and who knows, when you get back with the Ruby, you might even get more training in various fields. And on that note, Marigoline will in fact ask Brennar, how do you envision your future path? I know that you want to use your insights and knowledge to stop demons as well.
Yes, I've been trained sufficiently in it, and because of that, I know how to deal with them. And we've had dealt with them in the past and removed them as such, but I think more my skills is more of a tool, for lack of better terms, to get rid of them of this realm. As much as it may not have seemed when we were going through the mosaic walls within the Thalmarine, I didn't realize the gravity of what happened.
They look a bit sad. Sometimes it is hard for us elves to understand the other kin because of our long memories and because some of us were there. When we speak of living memory, it is because we remember it vividly. And you and Celestial Passage, you are blessed with being our kin, if remotely so. And so you have a better chance of understanding our perspective. But the others, they live such short lives, and sometimes it's hard for us to speak to them in ways they understand. And I fear sometimes that this creates misunderstandings and conflict and strife needlessly. But I'm glad that our Hall of Memories could help create that understanding for what was lost, and the crimes of Ziggler. And I know that there are other Frailers who, like you, have taken up arms against those who fell, those who have fallen from the true path. And perhaps there can be one day some kind of more general reconciliation between druids and sorcerers. If we can find more sorcerers like yourself, then much will have been won.
Yes, that would be nice.
I have heard of, and maybe in the future when this mission is over, that to the east of the Dankwood there is a forest with some human sorcerers, I think. And at least one of them talks to some of the druids of the Golden Bough. Perhaps you could seek them out when all this is over.
Yes.
As far as I know, she should be quite powerful.
Yes, I didn't have a chance to finish my training, but it would be beneficial. And very much feel alone, I guess, amongst all the others here. And then at that point, Brenner just kind of goes a little silent.
Yeah, that quarter day passes without any particular problems at all. It's very, it's a nice stroll in the deep forest. Obviously, it's a slow pace because of all the undergrowth and the difficult terrain that you're traveling through. But Soren competently leads you through it, and as someone said, when you have a big walking tree next to you, there's very few people who will want to try to rob you or do something like that. Also, you're in the heart of Elven territory, so they will not mess with you when you're walking with these red runners, that's for sure. You notice probably now, and maybe that pattern hasn't been quite clear to you before, but all these three elves, Margoline and Alsurso and Ulmaya, they have some kind of it's a red flower or a red jewel on themselves. So Alsurso will have it as a ring, and it's a gem in the shape of a star. Ulmaya has it as a flower on her studded leather. And Margoline as well. It's a flower on one of her shoulders. Sometimes it's 5 petals, sometimes it's 6. Sometimes this ring is just like 4 spokes of a star that like the glare. And you've seen that on some of the others in Thummarine as well. It seems like that's the sign of a red runner, if you will.
Actually, when I'm fairly close to the elves, be like, I don't know know how to broach how to broach a whatever you call it, sensitive subject. Elvish rubies. What we're going could potentially be dangerous. If one of you is to die, I assume the ruby is supposed to go back. Do we just take your body and cut it out? Is it actually your heart, like they said?
Are you speaking to Margoline now? Or, I guess?
Whichever elf happens to be close.
That could be Ulmaya. So it's up to you, Ulmaya or Margoline. That's
probably Margoline. He seems a little bit more forthcoming.
Yeah, they might be. Margoline will answer, yes, it is our hearts. And yes,
right.
You can cut it out.
Okay.
In fact, any elven ruby returned to Thamorine, you will earn the reputation as an elf friend if you do that.
Well, it just seems like if we're going through all this trouble to get one, if something should happen to you guys on the road, we should know what we're supposed to do.
I appreciate that. And yes, that is what you're supposed to do. And yes, we do go through all that trouble to retrieve one. Many of us have been lost through the centuries across these Ravenlands as they were. And when we find one of our lost kin, we try to return them, of course, to their proper homes.
Alright, good to know. And I will pass that all along to the rest of the group too, just in case our elf companions do fall in battle.
You only just met them and now already you're talking about stealing their hearts? Wow.
Well, if they're dead, it's not really stealing.
They're stealing the heart, and then they're stealing the heart literally from an elf because it's a ruby. That's,
No wonder they don't fall in love. Breaking a heart is a major thing.
Who says they don't fall in love?
Well, hopefully everything will go swimmingly and we won't,
How do you think half-elves have been created?
Sapphires, maybe? I'm not sure anymore.
Well, you see, eventually the rain falls on a tree, and...
I will continue leading us in a kind of southwesterly direction.
Yes, feel free to lead the way again.
Ooh.
That's not so good.
Come on, you can push through it.
Yeah, I will push. So one less of these.
That succeeds.
There we go.
You get a bit confused there for a moment.
Yeah,
These
momentarily.
trees-
It's did all these trees look the same?
Nope, that was
And then you
Clotilda.
look behind, you see the end and go, no.
Exactly.
No. Okay. This way. Definitely this way. But I do take a point of wits damage.
Indeed.
Momentary confusion.
Yep.
I am fine.
It's kind of weird when you're walking through a forest and a part of the forest is walking with you.
Well, see, that's why I got confused, because I looked behind me to make sure I was on the right path, and it was still the same.
And then it turned out it was Clotilda all along.
Does Clotilda actually make any noises other than crunch, crunch, crunch on the floor bed?
So far, she has not spoken to you, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah.
I will go try to talk to her.
Huh.
Hi.
She will look at you.
I understand that you're an Ent. What is it like to be a living tree? That seems really cool.
Well, She says in a very deep and barky type of voice, "It is different from flesh."
Were you flesh once before? Sorry if that's a rude question. I have no filter.
I was flesh. A
Really?
long time ago.
Were you an elf once?
Yes.
That is so cool. I didn't know elves turned into trees.
At
That's
this
awesome.
point, I'd look at Braynar and like, you're getting a little mossy.
I'm sorry,
It's
that
okay. It's
seems
just too.
that seems really cool.
Margoline will kind of intercede and say, "We, the eldest among us, sometimes decide to shed this fleshy form and take that shape instead."
That's awesome. Do you have other shapes?
We can take many shapes, yes.
Because
We cannot shape ourselves into looking like you.
well, one of the ladies that we talked to kind of looked a little bit like a cat. I think that might have been why she didn't like me very much.
Ah, yes. She might have more of the same opinions as Alsurso towards other kin.
You guys seem very divided about that. Some of you guys are like fascinated, and then some of you guys are like, please make them go away.
So it seems then, says Margoline, that all elves are not alike? And they smile a bit.
I guess not.
But you're right. We have divisions among us. And there are certainly elves who would most like to simply rid these lands of the other kin, at least humans and kin they think are demon spawn. They will be tolerant towards dwarves, since dwarves were here with us before any humans came. But I would say that those who have chosen that path have really betrayed the path of the Red Runner. We are here to protect these lands, and the gods have created us all. If anything, we elves are stewards. We can help other kin with our advice and our long experience. But all of us seem to lose our ways every once in a while, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
And yes, I will concede. Many of us will think of the Wolfkin as demon spawn.
Yeah, but you guys aren't the only ones, so.
I do not know your origins, the origins of your kin at all.
Neither do we.
At some point, you were there, and if that was because of some nefarious working of Zigopher, or because the gods decided to give you a particular place here, is not for me to say.
We have druids too.
Do they follow the words and wisdom of Clay and Flo and Whale?
Some do. Some don't. Our normal ways are usually a bit more tribal and violent.
And direct.
Yeah.
I see. I am pleased to make your acquaintance. It is rare, for me at least, to have the chance to talk so much to one of the Wolfkin. We see them mostly as guards of caravans, and alas, it seems to me that some have taken up banditry.
Yeah, we're not all Very nice.
Tree and a wolf, are best friends, marking their territory everywhere they go.
Do you have to? Like, every time? Every time?
Every time. Big has to every time. It's what she does.
It's our spirits. I think this is as far as we're going to get it before darkness is upon us.
Indeed. So, setting up camp then. Is that again Soren's task, I guess?
Oh, I can. I was debating going out and maybe doing some hunting while somebody else set up camp.
That can be done too.
My survival is crap.
Yeah.
Sure, I can help.
The tent gives you a +2 gear bonus.
Yep.
Does it?
Yep. It sure does.
Okay. My survival's still crap.
Who has... how much do you have in survival there? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a lot. That works. Not a problem at all. And you set up camp without mishap.
And while he's setting up a camp, I'll go out a little bit. I'll set up my my bear trap that I have, and I'll see what I can catch.
Indeed.
And I will get the pot started.
Yep. There's going to be enough food for everyone tonight.
Ooh!
That's a success.
A success, yay.
So roll a d6 and let's see what you catch. That is a fox,
4.
in fact.
Sweet.
Yeah, and since you're using a trap, you actually trap it. You don't have to roll a weapon roll for that. So that is 3 meat and 1 pelt.
So I will cook that up, and then if somebody wants to get some vegetables to go with it.
Yep. And of course, the elves also have a lot of food in their package, in their luggage, in their backpacks. So no one is starving tonight.
No, Frida also has like 24 food on her from what she bought from the kitchen.
All right. Do you want to remove 5 then for the group?
Okay.
And how about water? Everybody should roll a water roll. Obviously, you're gonna drink your fill tonight, but who knows about tomorrow, etc., etc.
Hey, I didn't actually fail for a change.
Exactly.
I was starting to think your water skin had a hole in it. I was going to offer to trade you.
You all have plenty of water still. Who's gonna set a... I guess Clotilda could watch for you tonight?
Well, hey, doesn't hurt to take advantage of the fact that we have friends.
Exactly, and Clotilda could definitely, keep watch, get her rest in, while the rest of you are making camp and eating and everything. She doesn't eat like the rest of you. She digs her toes in deeply into the soil. So she can keep watch during the night.
Alright.
No one would suspect the trees keeping watch.
Exactly. And I am happy to tell you that the night is uneventful. It is a new day in the Forbidden Lands. When you wake up, and it will be kind of weather did I have for you. Still good, still sunny. Yep.
Right. I will lead us south-southwest. I'm hoping to hit the coast, and then maybe if we skirt the coast, we can find a town with a boat, so we don't have to walk all the way around this lake and the mountain.
And at that point, of course, you are getting to regular forest. It's not dark forest anymore, so you can, in fact, it's open terrain, so you can go 2 hexes this time in a quarter day.
Excellent. Is there still a pathfinding check for each hex?
Yes.
All right. First part of the day. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Not this again.
You do remember that you had recovered the wits from last night?
Got it. I'm just debating, like, if I don't succeed, then we get to roll on the mishap table.
You do.
And I don't know how bad the mishap table is.
It varies, he said.
Only one way to find out.
I haven't killed anything in 2 sessions, so you know.
This is true.
Whoa. We're here too. Don't kill us.
I didn't say I was gonna.
You didn't say you weren't.
But, however, I have options. I'll push it, actually.
Okay. That gives you more willpower points, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you can never have too many of them. Well, actually, you can when you're at 10.
It does make me kind of wish that I'd also get an healing.
Yeah, no, you succeed with a pushed roll, and you have another willpower point. Frustration in these forests. This has been a difficult forest to navigate, to be honest.
I think it's because there's all these people, and they keep talking.
Yes.
And Soren keeps trying to get ahead of the group to scout, but then he also has to keep going back to make sure that they don't get lost.
Yep.
And it's throwing him off his game.
Yeah, that sounds pretty much like it. And
You just can't see the forest from the ends.
So where were you moving the party marker? Is that straight southwest there?
Yeah, that's the first the first part of the day, and then
Yeah.
the second part of the quarter day will get us to the coast.
Right. Okay, so that's... Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Not moving the map.
Earthquake!
Yeah,
It's blood mist.
exactly.
It's Brainar's fault. I mean, sorry. You're what I got.
Yeah, no, it's still... I don't know if this is because you are traveling with Clotilda, or it's just a peaceful forest. But you have been traveling now for, that full day and a half, and nothing has happened to you. All you see are animals that are watching you. Birds, beasts.
You're traveling with a big ass tree and a big ass walking, talking wolf. A walking, talking tree and a walking, talking wolf.
Yep.
No, the wolf wouldn't scare off a walking, talking bear.
No, probably not, but I would scare off most other animals.
Exactly. So that might be why you have been so far completely unmolested on your travel.
All right.
Don't sound so disappointed, Big.
Well,
It's
we
just,
walk softly and carry a big tree.
Yes,
True.
exactly. And so you arrive at the coast sometime around noon.
So does exploring the hex, looking for things, that takes time too as well, doesn't it?
It would, yeah.
Alright.
And
So
the
maybe-
dwarves are not the dwarves. The elves are not particularly interested in doing exploration. They're heading to the Eye of the Rose as fast as they can.
Well, then we tell them that we will meet them at the designated meeting spot, because I am interested in seeing if there's a boat that can just ferry us across this big ass lake.
All right. Well, I mean, they can part ways here for sure. They will travel along the edge of the lake through the forest.
I mean, bear in mind, we may end up following along behind them if there's nobody here with the boat. But I think it's worth taking a look around. But what do you guys think?
I'm fine with that.
guys want to hoof it around or look for a place for the boat?
Look for a boat.
See if we can find the boat. It's not like it'll change much if we don't.
We get to go fishing.
Go fish.
So yeah, so we'll take the time to look around, see if there's any signs of habitation, any like little fishing villages or habitats or anything like that.
For sure.
Smuggler's Cove.
Smuggler's Cove, pirate hideout.
Yeah, so basically by lunch, I guess you share a short snack there, and then the elves, including the tree, will head straight west, whereas you are sticking around a little bit to scout things out and see if you can find something interesting. And perhaps you can.
While we're scouting as well, I'd like to take a look and see if that river is fordable or not.
Yeah, for sure. It would be. It's going to be easier if you have a boat, for sure, but you can wade through it.
Okay.
Is someone keeping watch as you're doing all this?
I guess I probably should now that we don't have our companions.
That could be an idea.
I do wish Murgalain a safe journey onwards.
And a safe journey to you as well.
Frida will try to hug the tree if she'll let her.
The tree will let you, and hug you back, trying to not squeeze you too hard.
Here, I thought you were barking up the wrong tree.
Apparently not.
The jokes just keep on coming. You remember you have a looking glass? That's 2 black dice.
Oh, so I do. That's right.
Also, it's not insight, it's
Scouting.
Scouting.
Ugh! Well, good thing
It's
I got
success.
one on that, because that would have been brutal to push.
It is a success. Technically a success.
That would have been the most brutal push of them all.
Exactly.
All that willpower.
Yes, all that willpower. You didn't get it this time.
Yeah, I would have to cast the spell soon because I'm at 6 already.
No, so far you keep being unmolested, which is terribly nice. You haven't found any settlement here, any villages, any houses. They might have to do with this being, so close to elven lands. Who knows if humans even want to settle around here.
So, while we're doing the exploring here, is this considered us stopping for a quarter day?
I suppose so. Are you making camp too? You might, but I don't know.
Well, it took us a quarter day to get here, and then a quarter day to explore it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking if we're exploring it, I could forage it.
You can. You can definitely forage. Feel free to do so.
Yeah.
We're doubling up really benefits because I can be scouting while he's foraging.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I will see if I can track anything since we're hanging around anyway.
So I have herbalist, so
hunting,
I'm adding my extra 1 to gear.
You're doing that indeed. Now we will recall too that it's spring.
Mhm.
So foraging for spring means -1. On the other hand, you are in the forest, which gives you a +1. So it's +/-1 for you.
Okay.
+1 on the hunt roll in a forest, to remember. Yes, there, 3 vegetables right there.
Excellent.
You always throw yourself in.
Roots, I'm sure, for the most part.
Yeah, I'll take a potato or a carrot.
Yep. Maybe some
Early.
rhubarb, possibly. Wild
Yeah.
rhubarb. I don't know. I don't know anything about plants.
Early onions.
Is Frida going to go for a hunt roll
Asparagus.
to complement your food?
Asparagus.
That's not scouting, it's survival. I don't know if that's better or worse for you. It's the same. Okay, fair enough. Do you want to... There we go. Yeah. No, you're rolling for scouting now, so... For some reason. You're clicking the wrong skill. Or, no, it's the... No, it should be the wrong skill. Because I think you have the same rating in both scouting and survival, but you're just pressing... Yeah.
I'm pressing the wrong button because Jessica's blind.
Okay, that's fair. But that's fine, because it's the same dice pool anyway, isn't it?
I think so, but I'd like to have the right one because
Yeah.
sometimes that happens.
Exactly, sometimes that happens. Okay, you can find yourself an animal. Roll a die to see
He's
what type
6,
of
right?
animal.
Okay. Sorry, switching between screens.
That's alright. Ooh, that's interesting. You find
Cool.
yourself a boar. Now, if you fail this one again, you will be attacked by the boar. So you have a -1 on your marksmanship roll.
Marksmanship?
Because you're throwing your spear.
So I have a -1 to throw the spear?
So it'll be like you add your throwing spear, the 2 dice, the two gear dice for that, and then you
Okay.
subtract 1 from your marksmanship.
Okay.
So you should use. Let's see now. You'll have the -1 there.
I do. My marksmanship is 5.
Yes, but you get a negative dice.
Oh, I don't know how that works. Sorry.
Or you click like so, the -1. So if you look at
Oh.
in the middle of the character sheet, you have a dice pool, and on the
Okay.
skills there is a -1, and then you roll.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There you go.
Did that do? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if that -1 comes up with a success, it removes the success from your dice.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how that works.
Sorry, that was.
Oh, I think. Okay. Did I do it the right? Did we do it the right way here? Anyway, you hit the boar,
boar.
and it goes down. So you
Yay.
now have 4 meat and 2 pelts
Cool.
that you've added to your stash of food. And you can cook, though. Yeah, if you take the evening to cook, you can cook, I suppose, the fox too, if that hasn't been cooked already.
Frida cooked that last time
Okay, there you go.
before
then.
we left.
Did-
But
does-
I will cook the boar and the vegetables.
Do any of you have the Tanner talent? I
Soon.
think you do. You're gonna get that one too?
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Master craft frailer. May you
Exactly.
craft the thing.
Well, someone has to, right? And the reason I ask is that pelts, I'm not sure how... Yeah, they have a shelf life of 1 week, so if you haven't tanned them within a week, they go bad and you can't actually turn them into leather anymore.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Alright, while Frida is cooking, I'll set up camp.
All right. Excellent. You set up camp. Oh, I think I know how to mark the -1 on your sheet when you do the roll. I think there's a -1 on your skills miscellaneous. On the middle, on your left column.
Yeah, the middle column has the -1. What,
Yeah,
2,
exactly.
3 on it.
Oh, okay. I've never really highlighted over them, so I didn't see the fact that you could do the drop down.
Yeah, you can do the drop down. So there we go.
Yep, and it gives you a purple dice for the negative.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's alright. For the future,
Yes.
why did Soren do a -1 on your?
Just to demonstrate.
Oh, okay.
For me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you.
Anyway, you have set up camp for the evening. Who is keeping watch this quarter day?
Not me.
The person that doesn't do anything isn't gonna watch. Oh well. I guess I'll be tired.
So who is doing the keeping watch? This is when you're setting up camp.
Oh, I'll continue keeping a watch.
Alright, let's have a roll.
Well, obviously I have to, make that move.
Okay. Are you going to push that? Because that will, again, hurt your looking glass.
Well, I have to push to use my pride, don't I?
Not so sure that you do, to be honest.
I think you can just use your pride if you fail a roll.
Yeah, I think so too. I can double check. Once per game session, you can activate your pride when you fail a skill in a situation where your pride is relevant. So, yes, you can do that. There we go, 2 successes. You have never been surprised by a person or beast, and nor will you this evening.
Yay.
Because you're looking out there with a looking glass, and it doesn't get hurt. You don't actually damage it in any way because you didn't push the roll. And there you can see them slowly making their way. They must have seen a whiff of smoke from your campfire because they're slowly making their way towards you. It's a group of people. They're coming from the east along the shoreline and slowly making their way towards you.
We have guests making their way towards us from the east.
Are they blue?
Are they blue?
It's a relevant question.
It is legitimately a relevant question.
Did they look happy then?
They're a bit too far away so far.
To tell us they're blue?
No, they're not blue.
They're not any shade of blue that I can tell.
What you can see as they get a bit closer is that they are really dirty looking humans. They're wearing worn clothes that have ripped up in all sorts of places, and they're also armed with someone will have a club, someone will have an axe, maybe someone has a sword.
How many are
They
there?
are. It looks like they haven't shaved or cleaned themselves. Their hair is a mess, tangled mess. They are 5, in fact, and they're making their way towards you, and they're kind of. One of them is pointing towards your direction as they're getting closer. By
Yeah, so
now,
definitely
your
coming this
hunter
way.
and forager will be back.
There's about 5 of them. They're all armed, disgusting-looking creatures. Well,
Oh, so humans.
they're filthy. I mean, they're ragged, unwashed, unkempt,
How well armed, and then they look like they know what they're doing.
Well,
were
at
they
first
armed
I thought it wasn't, that much of an issue as I saw a club, but then there's the man with the axe behind him. They're fairly well armed for a group of ragtag
What kind of axe?
beggars.
It's going to be a one-handed axe.
No,
But
a sharp
does it-
one.
Someone
Does
in
it
the
look like a-
woods with an axe is automatically a threat?
I was gonna
It's
say,
not a
does it look
tree
like a
axe.
weapon or a tool?
You don't bring a one-handed axe into the woods to cut down trees unless you're a moron.
So they're idiots. Perfect. Let's bring the blankets. Let's help these people out.
Oh my god. Is there a fire currently going?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Brainer immediately goes over near the fire and starts to stoke the flames a little higher.
Frida will move in front of the rest of the group, draw her sword and shield.
I will gather a blanket.
Celestial Passage will notice that they are, in fact, producing their weapons and having them at the ready in their hands. As
Somebody
they
please
approach.
keep Big out of the fight.
They've readied their weapons. They intend to attack.
Fine, I'm just gonna shoot a fucker.
Please do.
You haven't even said anything yet.
Even more reason to kill him in cold blood.
Actually, I will drop the arrow right in front of one of their foots and say, "That's far enough."
Okay.
You know, arrows are the enemy of diplomacy. I'm just going to let you know this right now.
Big.
Arrows have been used to deliver messages since arrows were developed.
Yeah, the message right there is GTFO, and they might be friends. They could have a boat.
No, they came creeping along, sneaking towards us with their weapons ready.
They
Yeah,
want to club us and steal our food.
You can hear
They
them
look
sort of
homeless and
rustling through the shrubbery, and one of them is a large man with a really big black beard steps forward and he sort of spits and, "What manner of dirt are you? What are you
Frida
doing
will
here?"
step forward and say, "What manner of dirt are you?
Me? Don't you know who I am?
I don't give a shit who you are."
I'm Argum Twainbeard is who I am. You've never heard of him.
Why do I care?
You can see that all of them are looking very much towards sort of the campfire, and if there's any food available, their eyes will go towards it.
These guys hungry?
Come towards the fire. We'll give you some respite. Warm you up.
Anyone
We
want to
got-
roll Insight, Celestial Passage? You have that skill?
Yeah.
While
Okay,
this
Frida.
No, it's not.
Worst case scenario, they won't live to morning.
This is true. Possibly. Really?
will be aiming
Man.
in the meantime.
Well, I'm gonna have to push it.
Yep. It's gonna hurt your wits,
Willpower.
but it lets you some willpower, exactly.
Whoa!
And worth it.
Yep, that was definitely worth it. They are clearly starving and fairly desperate robbers. That's just the look of them, and yeah, these guys they can probably be handled, but exactly how? The fact that Frida is standing there, huge shield, armored, longsword, and
Don't forget the horns on the shield.
don't forget the horns on the shield. I mean, she means business. There's no doubt about that. And you have Soren with the longbow. Big might not look threatening, but maybe they don't know too much about halflings. It's a strange group altogether. So they do have their weapons, but those weapons seem to be there mostly for their own defense, and also possibly could be driven by desperation in your mind. They are hungry, but it's possible.
If for to
talk
offer
them.
respite, they'll have to leave their arms over there, outside of reach and outside of easy access. They're clearly desperate and hungry, but they're also clearly robbers.
So,
We have food to spare.
Are you saying this so that Argam can hear you?
Well, if he wants to lean in while I'm talking to the party.
Well, no, then Argam won't be able to hear it. It's close enough.
which word does Celestial Passage emphasize? Desperate, starving, or robbers?
Starving, with a slight lean on desperate.
Yeah, so with that, I would probably move in.
And I will trip Beg on the way over so she shuts up.
From the ground, I will, I guess, do manipulation, try and convince them to behave on their best behavior, and we will not see them any harm. Because that's where the manipulation comes in, because somebody wants to do them harm.
Yep. No, you can absolutely talk to them if you want.
I'm not deliberately lying, but I'm absolutely lying.
So, let's see now.
Good roll.
Do you have something? Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna... Yeah, with 3... Yeah.
They genuinely think that you have some sort of control over Frida. I don't know why, but they seem to think so.
Biag's soft tongue will be able to... soft-spoken voice will be able to assuage their fears. They are looking at your group, and when you start... What are you saying exactly, Biag?
I would probably come in probably with the blanket that I made it look like I tripped over when I got tripped. And I would, like, come, rest yourself by the fire. We're not here to hurt you. She's just a harmless pup, and sometimes her bark is worse than her bite.
So you have some food then to share, maybe?
Absolutely.
One of these days I'm gonna poke back,
Agram seems content with that and puts down his weapons, and so does the rest of their group, and they come to, in fact, share your fire. Invited by Biag.
I'm going to pull Celestial Passage aside out of earshot. I'll say, when they leave, are you going to be able to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't circle back?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Not saying I don't trust people, but I
But you don't trust people.
Frida will lay down her arms and make Soren aware that this will take a chunk of our shares. Our stores.
Yeah, they will eat 5 meals. There is 5 of them.
Fine, we should be hitting a village in the next day or 2.
Didn't you just pick up boiled beast in the forest or something?
You did, yeah.
Doesn't matter, we get lost and we run out of food, we starve to death.
What did you just pick up? It looked like a giant cow or something.
There's a
Small
boy.
halfling.
You're a boy.
Wait.
What?
As long as I'm here, you literally cannot starve to death.
See, there's a
You
reason
can
for
starve to
everyone.
near death, though.
But it is too, you lose, since you're friendly enough to invite Agram and his rough band of ruffians, and they are eating like they haven't seen food for a long time, which probably they haven't.
Frida's food is really good.
Yeah, no, they are. This is good. Huh? Who made this great food?
I did.
What? Oh, good food. Yeah, they're all just rifling it down with great appetite, and of course, maybe they have actually had some water to drink before, but you will have to roll for water for today. So you've lost 10 rations of food because you're inviting these robbers very kindly, and then 5 rations of water. Ah, Soren, you now have a D10.
It's because he's trying to keep an eye on them so hard that it spills.
Exactly.
Not practicing proper water maintenance.
Yeah. The rest of you seem to be fine. Yeah, so you share a meal with these wayward robbers who are just happy to eat and not starve for today. Oh, thank you kindly, says the leader. Well,
Always
we ain't
happy
got
to
much
help.
coin. In fact, none of it.
Neither do I.
Some of them, now that they have started to get their bellies full, might be starting to look over your equipment in that kind of way that Celestial
Freda's
Passage
got her
will not be
hand
happening.
on her sword. It has not left it.
Well, as we've tended to your wants and needs, I believe it's time for you to depart and not return.
Well, thank you. We'll leave
What
you in
could
peace.
possibly bring you to the middle of the woods, though? This is not a safe area for you guys. Maybe there's a city around that you could habitate in with a little better luck than the middle of the woods.
We
Riverstone's the nearest place.
we heard there
Find a
was
city. Hang on.
there was looting to be done at Fort Riverstone, but no such thing. It was all burnt and empty when we got there. Well, except for the people who were there, guards and dwarves and whatnot. Heavily armed too. Elves too. Can't get squeezed by there.
You should probably change your diction. It sounded like you said looting instead of looking for assistance.
They did.
We heard the place was abandoned. Might be some good treasure there, we figured. Was not. And then we got lost in this infernal wood.
Your best bet's to head to the Hollows instead.
The Hollows? Where's that?
Oh, just keep going past Fort Riverstone and down towards Peddler's Rest. Follow the river. You can't miss it.
I'll try our luck that way then. Thank you kindly. We'll be off that way and set up our camp.
Best of luck and safe journeys.
And so they actually do leave you.
Yeah,
That-
I am not lowering my guard.
That manipulation roll from Big really helped.
Once they are well out of earshot, Big, please do not invite people with weapons into the camp.
People in the woods.
No,
tend to have
do
things
not
like axes and
invite
sticks.
people with weapons into the camp.
They didn't have weapons when they came into the camp. They left them out there.
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
when
They
the
had weapons
invitation
on
was
the
made.
edge of the camp.
The elves had weapons. We have weapons. See, little sharp, pointy sticks.
The elves wanted something from us. That's why they invited us in.
Are you telling me that you can't handle a bunch of vagabonds?
I can. I don't need them invited into our camp. I don't need them to take 5 of our rations.
Well, it's
Are
a
you
lot
in-
easier to toss them into the fire or stab them in the back.
Are you
at
inviting
close
Frida to
range.
just massacre people now?
No, I'm just trying to, instill her with a sense of joie de vivre, because she
You're
only seems
failing
to have
in every
bloodlust.
regards, Big. Perhaps you should try again from a different perspective in the morning.
Why don't you keep your hands on your little one-eyed tool, and I'll keep my mouth where it belongs.
At the very least, five rations is nothing. Nobody got injured. Nobody got a hand hacked off, or a leg chopped off, or a head chopped off.
Yeah.
So, regardless of how competent you might be, if combat happens, somebody's going to get hurt.
It would totally be on your head, regardless how short it currently is.
I'd much rather use up a couple of rations than have to try to find bandages in this forest.
I have one set, and no offense, they're only for Frida or myself currently.
Sometimes words and good actions speak a lot more than knives and slings.
I mean, if they decided to throw down, I totally would have been there, but I'm not looking for unnecessary violence. Just because Soren is an untrusting sort, I am going to stay up for the rest of the night just in case they come back.
Which is fair enough. You can keep watch then.
And Raynar will also do the same.
Alright.
I'll enjoy the
don't
rest
like
period
inviting,
for my wits.
And you haven't even rested in the evening before, so you're gonna be sleepy by the time morning comes along. But that's alright.
Noted.
Ranar, don't you rest while you're foraging?
And
That's
so,
a great talent.
And so ends, in fact. Oh, does foraging count as rest for you, Brenner?
It is considered. Let me just bring up general talents.
You have the second level?
Yeah, I have second level.
Yeah.
And it might, yeah.
Yep.
Then you're arrested already. Nice. That half-elf blood serves you well, though it doesn't relate to the half-elf blood. It's just the talent, but it sounds
Here's
nice.
here's the spyglass in case you need it.
Noted.
And so ends springtime, Springrise 17th. And as the sun comes down, is it the end of our session for this time. You have a new quest, you have a new mission. You are headed towards the Eye of the Rose. It will take several days for you to get there, and on the way you might run into actual settlements. One or two, depending on how you travel. If you decide to go by the mountains, you might not. And if you decide to get a boat, possibly at the settlement, you might get to another settlement. So we'll see what you decide as you continue on your journey through these forbidden lands. And as we end this session with our adventuring players, there will be an epilogue, because a few days ago, far away from where our adventurers are, other things happened. So have a good night to the players.
Night.
And
Good night.
let's all see
Good folks.
what happened.
May the spirits guide you.
May the spirits guide us all. What happened in a different place. So, this is the morning of Springrise 15th. You're encamped in the forest, the south of Arena Forest. You've won the battle against the orcs last evening. This is the camp in the morning after. You will, as you come out of your tent that has been pitched up there by your servants, you will notice that off to one side, the Rust Brothers have completed the task that you gave them last night. They have put all the dead militia into one, well, pile, for lack of a better word. And they are awaiting you at whatever time is convenient for you this morning.
Yeah, so Katorda wakes up kind of early, sore from yesterday's battles and spending the night on less than comfortable sleeping arrangements. He's an old man still, so it takes his toll. But he stretches, he makes his way out from his tent into this clearing where the piles of dead bodies are piled. On his way there, he removes his armor, his clothes, in a ceremonial manner, preparing for this ritual. As he enters the clearing, one of the Rust Brothers greets him, lets him know they're ready for the ceremony.
As Kartorda looks over the pile, he will notice maybe one or two orcs among the dead, but most of them are really just militia. It still probably bugs him a bit how few orcs your army actually managed to kill.
Yeah. It was a very hefty price to pay, but necessary nonetheless. Somewhere these troops' sacrifice will spark hope in the other troops in the continuing campaign.
Indeed.
I hope. As we enter the clearing, we gather in a semicircle around the bodies. Chanting fills the forest. Arcane threads are being weaved, and prayers are muttered. Spells are cast, and but something feels not quite right as Kartora casts his final spell.
The etheric energies are reaching out into and towards the bodies and filling them with unnatural energies that can reanimate these corpses. But you're right. Cartorda feels that this huge amount of energy, more energy than he has channeled in many a year at once, slips his controls. They short-circuit against each other. Sparks of etheric matter fly. And even as the corpses start moving amidst the incense and smoke that has been released by the Rust Brother burners, a rift opens up in the sky. And out of that rift comes a creature not of this plane. It is as big as about a pony, possibly in size, but spider-like, with 8 legs crawling out through this portal, with menacing eyes, though it's also transparent. You can see the trees around you in the forest right through the body of this thing. It's like it's made out of glass, or some kind of... The carapace is some kind of glass-like substance. Even though you can't see its innards at all. It's simply looking like through a crystalline spider, if you will. It's 8 legs tipped off with sharp, razor-sharp claws.
Carthona takes a step back as this demon emerges, instinctively casting another spell in his attempt to command this demon to leave this realm and never return. He holds his holy symbol of rust aloft and forces the demon to crawl back.
The demon is halfway through the portal, and it's going to lunge against one of the Rust Brothers, impaling that hapless Rust Brother on its razor-sharp legs, when the binding spell catches it mid-air. It writhes, it tries to fight it. You can hear some kind of unearthly screech as it's forced back into the crack and leaves this realm. And as the portal closes again, Cartorda's gaze goes back, and he can now see the dead have risen.
That's a success for my part. I feel these troops have risen again in order to complete and return to their duties in the name of Rust and myself in our campaign against these savage orcs that has bothered us for so many years.
One of the dead, a large orc warrior with a terrible wound across the eye, stands, and the energies that have infused these bodies with the unnatural powers of necromancy have been particularly strong with this one. It will be able to lead the others, and it is even so intelligent that it can bow to its master, Rust Prince Cartorda.
This feels good. Cartorda returns the bow with a nod of his head and turns to the other lieutenants and officers and gives the order to prepare the troops to move. We're moving further into the forest onto our next goal.
They shout cries to the glory of Rust as they prepare to move deeper into orc territory.